Of what's been going down in the nation's capital over the last couple weeks. We begin Thursday, August 20th. RG3 suffers a concussion versus the Lions. Tuesday, Jay Gruden is adamant that he's not benching Griffin. Thursday, RG3 declines to admit that he had a concussion. Later that day, it's reported that he was cleared from concussion protocol. Then Friday, it's reported that he was not cleared by the medical staff for Saturday's game due to concussion. Sunday, Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini reporting that Redskins coaches want to move on from Robert, but ownership is resisting. And today, Rossini is also reporting that according to team sources, Kirk Cousins has been named the Week 1 starting quarterback. So there's that. You guys get all that?
We got
It's been a crazy couple weeks. Shannon, what should happen next with RG3?
Skip, bear with me a second. I'm a storyteller. I'm going to tell you a true story. In college, I broke up with my girlfriend. My coach asked me, he said, Shannon, what happened? I said, Coach, we were both sick. And he looked at me like, what do you mean you were both sick? I said, I was sick of her and she was sick of me. That's the case with RG3 and the Redskins. The Redskins are sick of RG3. RG3 is sick of the Redskins. It's time to move on. What they gave up to get RG3, he was never going to be able to repay them unless he won Super Bowls. In '83, the Broncos traded Mark Herman, the rights to Chris Hinton, and a first-round draft pick in '84. And within John Elway's first 4 years, he was in the Super Bowl. RG3 was Rookie of the Year, Skip. He got hurt. He comes back and he says, I don't want to play that style of football. The style of football that made me Rookie of the Year, that made me successful, that helped this team win the NFC East. Imagine if Russell Wilson, after going to the Super Bowl, walks into Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevell and say, you know what, guys? I don't want to play this. I want to be a pure pocket passer like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. That's what RG3 did. He forgot what made him successful. It's time to go. There's no more trust that RG3 has with the Redskins. They keep saying there's a split. There's no split. Front office down, want RG3 out of the building. Front office up, the only place that it matters, which is Daniel Snyder, he wants RG3 to stay in that building. Skip, it's time to move on. But from what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing, there's not a whole lot of interest. There's not a whole lot of interest in a guy that just 4 years ago was NFL Rookie of the Year, and everybody says, this is the guy that's going to revolutionize the quarterback position.
Okay. Do I hear you saying that RG3 will never again live up to being RG3, who was Offensive Rookie of the Year?
He'll never be that player again.
Never again.
And I think that's what people keep hoping for. He will never be what you saw his rookie year, because you know why, Skip? He doesn't want to play that reckless style of football, and he can't play it. Those injuries on the knees, Skip, you know it takes a toll. And I get that he wanted to transition, but the transition should have taken a longer time. You don't come in 1 year and says, okay, this is the way I was, now this is the way I want to be.
Okay, I don't know what happened to your girlfriend back at Savannah State. I don't know where she wound up, but I do know where you wound up. So even though you were sick of her and vice versa, as you so perceived at that point, you went onward and very upward, because you just kept getting better and better and better.
Missing you
right?
today
Look at this.
Outfit, right?
Look at this. Right?
She's trying to find you, Googling you.
You are the RG3 half of that equation. Yes, you were sick of each other. I'm not done with RG3 the way Jay Gruden clearly is done with RG3. I thought Jay Gruden was done with him last year when he repeatedly, after he reportedly was hired to fix RG3. Remember all that?
Yes.
Jay Gruden can come in, according to Dan Snyder, and teach and tutor and coach RG3 back to his rookie year level. That was the whole idea, I thought, from a distance, in hiring Jay Gruden in the first place. And he turned on him like that. He turned on him publicly in ways I have never seen a head coach turn on a proven quarterback. He was the Rookie of the Year, and he did carry them to a division title. Am I right?
Yep.
He carried them to a 14-0 lead in a playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks before he got re-injured and then got wrecked after that, as we all know.
Yes.
And I agree with you. It's taken him a long time to get back to any sort of physical status of being RG3 of the rookie year.
Yes.
But I believe he's close to being that guy again. But he has to go back to playing the way that guy played.
But he doesn't play like that, though, Skip, anymore.
Again, he's going to have to come to grips with this. If he's going to make it back to rookie year RG3, he's going to have to use his legs some to complement his arm.
I agree.
Okay, now I'm with you. I'm not sure he's going to swallow that pride yet as a Redskin, but here's the point. And Jay Gruden's back end is about to be on the line here. He just might get himself fired over this situation because the focus and the pressure is all about to be on the head coach if, in fact, he can pull off going all the way to the top, to the owner, and cutting RG3. Nobody's going to trade for him because, remember, they opted in on the injury protection. Okay, that he's protected only against injury. Am I right about that?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay, only against injury through 2016. But if you cut him and he passes through waivers, which I believe he would because nobody wants to claim that deal,
right?
Okay, which was a pretty silly deal as you look back on it with all his injury history. But he could start fresh. He could be a street free agent and make a new deal with a new team without that caveat hanging over the new team's head. You see what I mean?
I do, Skip.
Okay.
But the problem that RG3 had coming into this year, he says, I'm going to let my play speak for me. And every day I see him in front of the cameras talking about what he's going to do, how good he is. He wants to prove this. Just let your play. Look, what hurt RG3 his rookie year? When he got hurt, instead of taking the 2 to 3 to 4 weeks that needed to let that injury heal, he saw Kirk Cousins play a whale of a ball game against the Cleveland Browns, and he rushed himself back. His pride.
Yeah.
It happens. Nobody wants to be Wally Pipp.
Robert played very well the next week against, if memory serves, Philadelphia. Remember that?
He played well, Skip, but he wasn't healthy. And he further injured that knee.
Yeah.
And he set himself back. And he spent all his offseason worried about all in for week one. I think he got married. He was at the Kentucky Derby. I was starting to question, how serious are you? You're doing documentaries with your sponsors.
I agree.
You had
I had issues. Yep.
You had the Kentucky Derby. You're getting married. You're going on a honeymoon. Skip, you tore your knee up for the second time.
Okay.
And this is what's important to you, Skip.
How many preseason snaps did he play that year for Mike Shanahan? 0.
And
it started week 1, Monday night against Michael Vick. Remember that?
I'm all in for week 1, Skip. But if you remember in that training camp, Mike would have a press conference saying, we're holding Robert out because we want to take it slow. Robert would come right behind him and say, hey, I'm ready to go. Then Mike would have to come back and have a press conference to refute what Robert just said. Okay. Now, it kept going back and forth. And then it got all placed on Mike Shanahan. Well, Mike Shanahan has an in for Robert Griffin III. He just doesn't get it. Okay? Jay Gruden comes in. Look what Jay Gruden did with Andy Dalton. He got Andy Dalton $15, $16 million. Andy Dalton doesn't have the talent that RG3. But Andy Dalton is willing to listen. Right now, RG3 has too many people in his ears. He got people talking here, people talking there.
Okay.
If it was me and I could talk to him, I would say, Grip, no more talking. We don't need to talk to the media because everything you say is going to be scrutinized. They're going to a little soundbite here, and they're going to make it something over there. Just stop talking. Just go play.
Okay.
It's not going to be in Washington. It's done. Skip. It's like love is like an eclair. Once it goes cold, it can't be reheated. This relationship between these two, it cannot be reheated.
No,
it's over.
Done. It's done. But Jay Gruden has made it done. Okay, so I want you to understand.
But you said Mike made it done.
Okay, Mike Shanahan?
Yes.
Okay, I thought they did better together, now that I look back on it, than you really expected that they were doing. If you look back, it was pretty good together. Okay?
Yeah, you think?
Okay. So I have often criticized on this show the RG me in RG3. I've said, have I not, even this year?
Yes.
You've got to shut it down. Shut it up. Put your money where your mouth is, your performance where your mouth is, because he just talks too much because he's pretty egocentric. He's egomaniacal is what he is.
Yes.
He can't stop talking. And the more he talks, the worse it gets. But let's look what Jay Gruden has done to him this year. I think there has been some sabotage going on here, and I raised the issue the morning after the Detroit game. Jay Gruden left RG3 out there behind a patchwork at best offensive line. Remember that? And he took
the same line he's going to be playing with in the regular season.
No, Trent Williams did not play. Now they've given Trent Williams a big new contract. The left tackle did not play that night.
But he can't block. He can't block 4 other linemen.
Okay, but I'm just saying that night was hellacious bad for RG3. He got off to a bad start, and it got worse, and he got left out there behind that patchwork line.
Have you seen what Jameis Winston been going through this preseason? 2
rookies starting his line. I agree with you, but my point is that all of a sudden RG3 says, well, I finally, remember he got hurt finally.
Yeah.
They took him out. They took him to the locker room. He said, I was in the shower preparing to watch the rest of the game on the locker room TV, and they came in and said, you're under concussion protocol. And he said, according to what he told the media, I don't have a concussion. I'm fine.
How do you know? How does he know?
Because he said he had no head injury that he knew of. He didn't get that. And he raised doubt to the media the next couple days. And the Redskins obviously went on through the concussion protocol, and we know what happened at the end of the week last week. Finally, they said, oh, he's been cleared to play by an NFL doctor. And the next day they reverse field and they say, well, we misread what he was telling us, and when we read the report, it said he's not cleared to play. Well, this is some fishy business going on in Washington. It sounds like sabotage to me. It sounds like Jay Gruden is going out of his way to make sure that RG3 either looks bad or is disqualified from playing, one way or the other, so that Kirk Cousins can play.
So now we're going to be in a situation where Daniel Snyder fired a coach with 2 years left on his contract. Now is he about to fire a coach that's going to have 3 years left on his contract? Because this is what we know. We had a coach that led RG3 to Rookie of the Year, and they won the division. But RG3 wasn't happy. Daniel Snyder wasn't happy with the way RG3 was being used or being coached. Whatever they got rid of him.
Even RG3's father was not happy. He was quoted publicly as not being happy with the way he's being used.
Have you ever heard Andrew Luck's father speak?
Nope.
Okay, I was just checking.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But who was the Rookie of the Year when Andrew Luck was a rookie?
But see,
when he was a rookie, it was RG3. Who had the better year that year? RG3 had a better year.
RG3 did. But you know what? Everybody was talking about the poise and the maturity that Andrew Luck played with, throwing from the pocket. And that's what got RG3. I want to be that. I want to throw from the pocket. But that's not how you won Rookie of the Year.
Now, I'm with you on that. So RG3 is going to have to hit bottom here. He's going to have to get cut.
Well, you can't get no lower than this.
Okay, well, you could get cut. I'm not talking about being traded or picked up, claimed off waivers. I'm talking about cut on the street, open for business. Come one, come all. So then you got to start over with the new team.
Skip. They swapped first-round picks, gave up 2 number ones, a 3 and a 5th. Skip, he's lower than whale poop right now. He can't get any lower.
Okay, but he needs to know that psychologically. He doesn't need Dan Snyder to protect him anymore. So now we're back to a Jay Gruden. Are you convinced that Jay Gruden can turn Kirk Cousins into Andy Dalton?
I don't believe the quarterback that they need to take them to where they want to go, and that's competing for titles, is currently on their roster.
Okay. I have seen enough of Kirk Cousins to tell you he is average at best and mostly below average. And the joke is going to be on Jay Gruden if he thinks he can go places with Kirk Cousins, who, by the way, has started 7 games for the Redskins. 9 games. He's 2-7 in those games. 8 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He will throw it to the other team. And in big games like the game 2 years ago against my Cowboys late in the year, when my Cowboys had to go to the Redskins and win that game to stay afloat in the playoff chase, Kirk Cousins was terrible. I was rooting against him. I was like, go Dallas, go, man.
The number one thing that hurts young quarterbacks, expectations. As long as there's no expectation of Kirk Cousins, when he could come in and fill in for Robert Griffith, when he know he was going to come back, he was fine. But now we're counting on you to win 3, 4, 5 games. He's never done it.
Okay, so Kirk Cousins is, you agree with me, not the answer?
No.
Okay, well, I say good luck, Jay Gruden, going forward. How long are they going to wait on Jay Gruden to find a quarterback?
Well, he has 3 more years left on that contract.
He's going to need them.
Hey,
he might have to
not very many people get $5 million to go away.
I don't know.
Listen, they turned to both Colt and Kirk last year, and it didn't work out. They had to go back to RG3, so they might be looking to draft in a couple years. They have another issue there in Washington, though. Kirk Cousins, now the starter week 1. Check out the ticket. Oh, yeah, there's that for season ticket holders. RG3 still gracing that. So, yeah, just another issue there in Washington.
Wow.